new hot and techy Brezza, the City Bred SUV.
Eden Gardens has been throwing us some crackers this IPL. KKR's 223 didn't prove to be enough against Rajasthan Royals, but their 222 proved to be just about enough against RCB. Those are just the last two outings, and now they welcome Punjab Kings, who sit ninth in the points table, but are the only side in the competition who are yet to concede a 200-plus total. Sets us up for a tantalizing Friday evening then. Welcome to Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. We're in the company of Mitch McClenaghan, Wasim, Jaffer, and Shashank Kishore. Welcome back, Mitch and Wasim. In your absence, we've gone and found ourselves a new sponsor.
Good, JBL, how good. Love it. Yeah, beautiful.
So the sound should not be an issue.
Good, that's positive. Yeah.
And Shashank, good to join you here. I've been seeing you over the last couple of days. Liked it so far?
Yeah, it's been good fun, yeah.
All right.
A bit more enthusiasm than that, please. Come on. Has it been good or not?
Absolutely.
So there we go.
Great
there
fun.
we go.
He missed you yesterday.
Okay.
Now you watch the energy come back up. Let's see what is the points table looking like as we enter match number 42 of the season. Kolkata and Punjab are miles apart from each other. Punjab are in ninth. They've only won the two games and presently on a run of 4 consecutive defeats. They now have the added thing of knowing that RCB got the win yesterday, so the bottom of the points table is a lot closer than it was. Before that, KKR, meanwhile, sit pretty, 5 wins in 7, and a win today allows them to open up a gap over SRH and LSG. Let's start with Punjab Kings, and while we have their former batting coach here, it only makes sense that we speak about the batting issues that have been plaguing them. Wasim, the top order just hasn't delivered. If you look through the IPL and the history of the IPL, Punjab's top order performance from this season ranks the second worst in the history of the league. Only Rajasthan from 2009 have had a lower batting average from their top 5 in a season. What to you are the primary reasons behind this no-show so far?
Well, they're clearly missing the batting coach, isn't it? No, I mean, on the serious note, the batters haven't fired this season. Runs haven't come from the top order. Shikhar has been missing. Prap Simran haven't had an impactful knocks. Jitesh has gone missing from the last year. He showed so much promise. Livingston hasn't been scoring runs. So multiple issues. Even Riley Rosso played few games. He hasn't got runs. Sam hasn't contributed when he batted up the order. So multiple issues. But those guys need to turn up. Their bowlers, I feel, have done really good job. You've said they haven't conceded 200 plus runs, which is such a landmark considering how runs have been scored. But if the batters come to the party, I feel this team's still good enough. But yeah, they've left it too late, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a bit tough, isn't it? Because I feel like Punjab, they've had so many close games this year, and a lot of that comes down to their bowling. I think their bowling's been superb. One of the best bowling attacks in terms of form going around the competition. So, yeah, tonight will be a tough test. If you're going to give away 200 runs, it's going to be at the Gardens. So it'll be a tough challenge. But, yeah, you're right. They need their top order to fire. And I don't know what you think. How does that happen? Is it just waiting for Shikhar to come back? Or?
No, I mean, even when Shikhar was there, obviously he hasn't contributed to his liking. But I don't think just Shikhar's absence has caused this. I mean, I don't completely agree with Liam Livingston batting at 4. I don't think that's his position. Jitesh is entry point as well. He's been at 4. Sometimes he's been at 6 and 7. Shashank has been promoted. But even saying that, I still feel the batters need to perform. I mean, they're good enough players to bat anywhere from 3-4 to 6-7, but I feel those are the small issues which might have caused in their head. But yeah, some kind of stability in the head that this is where I am going to bat. It always helps.
Could you almost have an element of sympathy for some of the factors that weren't in their control? Shikhar Dhawan, who's so key to that lineup, getting injured. Johnny Bairstow just not turning up. Prap Simran Singh, who had such a breakout last season, not continuing that at all.
It's kind of been very unsettling for them having, the first 5 games they opened with Shikhar and Johnny Bairstow, and Shikhar got injured, and even when he was playing, he didn't get too many runs. The last 3 games, they've had about 3 different opening combinations. So it's kind of been unsettling. The running joke almost at this point is that the batting starts at 5 and 6 with Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma. I mean, given the fact that they have nothing to lose now, they're going in with probably ninth.
Yeah.
I just wonder if there is scope for them to potentially try something different. And this can be a little left field, but I just want Wasim's opinion on this, considering the fact that he's coached them. Someone like Ashutosh Sharma, is there a scope for them to throw him up the order? He's opened the batting for Madhya Pradesh. He made his mark early in his career as an opener. He did very well in the Mushtaq Ali 2019-20 before he got left out and made the move to Railway. So he started his career as an opener. And by pushing him up the order and giving him the mandate that just go for it, just bat the way you've batted at number 7, that could potentially throw KKR's plans off the rails as well, especially with the usage of spinners. Do you think, given the fact that they don't have anything to lose now, it's worth taking a gamble?
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but again, why you want to move him from where he's been doing well? That's one thing. And then again, it goes on to show that you're not showing faith in the top order batsman also. So it can work both ways. It's not a bad idea. He's used to batting top of the order. So that position is not alien to him.
And Shashank can continue batting where he's batted. And,
yeah, I think Shashank should just bat as a finisher, I feel. But the batters, I mean, those guys need to stand up, in my opinion. They haven't come to the party for Punjab, so far. So yes, yet. And one more point is they haven't showed the faith in Sikandar Raza as well. I mean, I have a lot of time for him, and I think he brings a lot of value as a player, as a bowler, as a batter also. And they haven't stuck to him. They haven't shown that kind of faith which you need to show on the overseas players.
They've started this evening on a good note. Bowling is their strongest suit, and having won the toss, Punjab will bowl first at Eden Gardens. I believe there will be some team news coming in, including an update on Mitch Starc, but we'll come to that in just a bit. I think we can continue focusing on Punjab. And Shashank, you have some points around how, while there may be a perception that this is a team that perhaps doesn't back its domestic players, there's evidence against that perception.
Yeah, there has. Over the last 3-4 years, if you see, they have backed some of the young Indian players to come good right from 2020. They retained someone like Ashdeep Singh on the back of one big season that he had in 2020 ahead of a mega auction. They've backed someone like Harpreet Brar, who also plays for Punjab. So they've backed him. Jitesh is now into his 3rd season. So there is a history of them trying to promote the young Indian talent. I mean, of course, it's a team that hasn't always had the kind of results that teams look for when they say that, our first goal is always to make the playoff. And of course, they haven't had that kind of success that some of the other teams have had. But when it comes good, when teams qualify and when teams are doing well, this is one aspect that's really spoken about. But yes, Punjab don't have the results to speak of, but you can't take away the fact that they've tried to do something different and promote young Indian talent. It's a different issue that all of them haven't come good, but at least they've tried.
And on top of that, Shashank this season, Ashutosh, they've scouted really well. Varun Chakravarti was a find of Punjab Kings, Sandeep Sharma for that matter. So they've got so many players, so many uncapped players who got noticed coming into Punjab team, and then obviously they had to somehow lose them because of the mega auction. But yeah, their scouts have done really well.
I guess maybe that's the problem though, right? There's a lot of their money has gone into overseas players over the last few cycles, and they haven't put the amount of money or resources into getting quality local Indian batters or local Indian bowlers. So, I mean, Harshal, this year they spent some money on, but outside of that, they haven't really gone all in for some local high quality talent. And then, so if you've got a program that doesn't pay for the best young talent, but then you're also going to try and promote the young talent that you've got, it's not a model that should really work consistently. So maybe that's a problem for them.
Yeah.
All right, we have team news, and let's look at KKR and how they are lining up. Mitchell Starc has a cut finger, and which is why Dushmanta Chamira gets his first look this season. Chamira came in as an injury replacement in the KKR squad. He will get a first look in the IPL. That is the notable change for KKR, who are batting first, which means Rinku Singh starts, and they will have their options between Vaibhav Arora, Suyash Sharma and Anukul Roy. Wasim?
I mean, first of all, Mitchell Stark, I think he won't mind that. It's something for him to reflect, and it's not a bad thing. Sometimes when you go through that in the IPL, it's a good thing to sit back and analyze, I feel. But other than that, that side looks really well. One notable omission is for me is Nitish Rana. I'm really surprised that he's not part of that 11 as yet, even though I heard that he's fit. So, and last season he was the captain. So I'm really surprised that he's not finding a place in the 11.
Timing can be such a thing when, as a player, you are not in the greatest of touch. You'd imagine everything we just discussed about Punjab's top order and how they're shaky. This is the one game Mitch Stark would have felt, yeah, I have a look in here, but this is the game he misses
you're not
out.
wrong. You're not wrong. He would have been licking his lips, looking at this on the schedule with how they're going. But unfortunately, he took that blow on the finger. Obviously, it was a bit more serious than we thought. But for him, he misses out on a great opportunity. He's been up and down. He hasn't looked too far off the mark. We all know how quality Mitchell Stark is. It's just over here in the IPL with the ground size, the wicket conditions, how good they are. If you're out by a fraction, you can just go the distance, and it can be as simple as having the wrong fielder in the wrong place, and all of a sudden you're 38, going for 2 for 38 looks 2 for 50. So, he'll have a bit of a break. He's probably needed it, leading into the World Cup, to work on a few things. But Chamira comes in today. Chamira is probably one of the outstanding Sri Lankan bowlers going around. Patirana and Chamira, I put in the top echelon of the Sri Lankan seamers going around. Good pace. He's still bowling fast. Gets that movement away and extracts quite a bit of seam movement as well. So he's a good player. Bowls good Yorkers at the death. So it's a great opportunity for him and for him to try and keep Mitchell Stark out of the side from here on out.
With the added benefit for Chamira that he's seen what's not worked for a seasoned left-arm seamer, and now he comes in with his own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think over the last 1.5 years, he's had an excellent run in Sri Lanka, and he's worked his way up. It's difficult, especially when you're bowling on those pitches in Sri Lanka where you're just playing on either turners or absolute flatbeds. So for him to have put in those performances on those wickets kind of already prepares him to deal with what may potentially come his way here.
All right, let's take you through how the Punjab Kings are lining up for this game. They have an overseas change of their own. Johnny Bairstow is back in. Liam Livingstone is the one who misses out. Sam Curran saying at the toss that we know we have to bat hard tonight at the top, which is a clear indication that Curran and Bairstow are likely to be the opening combine. And there's a return for Rahul Chahar as well. Wasim?
Yeah, I mean, you would expect Prabh Simran might come in as the impact sub. So yeah, I mean, it's not a bad try. Johnny Bairstow, when he comes good, what he brings to the table, he's a destructive player. He hasn't found the form yet, but they are hoping that he finds the form. So is Riley Rosso. So fingers crossed for them.
Bairstow back. You'd imagine he definitely opens. His opening partner, should it be Prabh Simran? Does Sam Curran drop down?
Yeah, it'll be interesting, won't it? If they, they could always go Johnny at 3, because Prabh Simran's been opening the innings, and that last innings he showed glimpses that he was back to his destructive best. So maybe they go with Sam and him at the top. I'd like to see Sam slide down the order. I know they're trying to get a left-right combination up there, but I just think he's got so much to offer in the middle. Playing some spin, he hits well against spin, and he also is smart enough to finish the innings as well if they get off to a good start. So I'd like to see him slide down, but it looks like maybe...
Yeah, I'm expecting Prab to open with Bairstow and then Sam at number 4.
Yeah, I mean...
Rahul Chahar's had a difficult time. He sat out, missed a lot of the last few games, but he comes back at Eden Gardens. We have seen some purchase for spinners.
Yeah, I think over the last couple of years, what Rahul Chahar has done is he's trained himself to be a white ball specialist. I mean, of course, he's not going to explicitly say that he doesn't want to play red ball cricket, but even this season he didn't play a lot of Ranji Trophy cricket, but he played the Mushtaq Ali, he played the Vijay Hazare, but there was one aspect that was lacking in him, that at least in the games that was televised, you could see that he had lost a little bit of bite, whether that's because of the flat pitches, whether that's because of heavy dew, because the tournament's played closer to the winter where chasing in the second half, especially in day-night games, can get very tricky for the bowlers. So he seems to have fallen off the radar a little bit in that sense, and that just reflects in the way they've picked the team and him having lost his place. But he's shown over the past, earlier in his stint with Mumbai, that he is a quality bowler. So he should back himself to come good in conditions where, there has been some help for the spinners.
Jahar's concern is one which should be easily fixed by himself, is that his inconsistency of length is his major issue. Quite often you'll see that floaty one come up and end up in a half volley early in his innings, and his struggle to come back from that on good wickets. That ball goes for 6 and then you're under pressure. So, his big work on is length and making sure he's hitting between that 4.5 and 5.5 metre length, as opposed to that half volley. And once he's bowled that half volley, he tends to drag the next one down and he's behind the 8 ball. So whether it's confidence or just the skills are just out a little bit, that's what we've seen recently from Rahul Chahar, and probably just needs to get back to the basics of actually just not giving that step hit, controlling his length a little bit better, and he'll be in a better stead.
Yeah, it's interesting because both of you have seen these two sides of Chahar up close. That 2019 season where he was so instrumental for MI, you saw him up close and you saw him in the last few seasons. What's the difference of Chahar of 2019, who was pushing into the Indian team, and the one right now who's struggling to get a game at Punjab?
I think the consistency at which he bowls, he doesn't repeatedly bowl in that same areas again and again. Obviously, that action doesn't allow him to. Probably it's not a repeatable action. It's a it's a tricky action. But when he played in Mumbai, he made a lot of difference in that spin attack along with Krunal Pandya. That impact he couldn't able to put here. That wickets column is missing for him, for Rahul Chahar when he played for Punjab. And that's why obviously he lost the spot. But this is a good ground to bowl to, especially bowling first. There will be a little bit of help, and with Liam not playing, I'm sure he's going to bowl all 4. So, it's a good game for him to come back.
Yeah, quite often you see your spinners come on, particularly the wrist spinners, come onto the scene at the start of their career. And because they've been concerned about the fundamentals, the basics, in terms of still being able to bowl a leg spinner, not too worried about having to bowl too fast, their actions are still pretty robust. But as spinners go on season to season, because of the tendency to always bowling the wrong ends now in white ball cricket, they become more chest on. So then they lose their leg spinner, and when they're chest on and they try and bowl a leg spinner, it's a little bit more difficult to actually get that drop and that bounce. So they end up floating it or pushing it more with the shoulder, and end up pushing it out too full. So it becomes more of a muscle leg spin action as opposed to like a nice flowing leg spin action, just because of the deliveries they're consistently bowling.
This was the same Rahul Chahar on the back of that wonderful season with Mumbai, who kept Yuzvendra Chahal out of India's T20 World Cup squad in the UAE, where India preferred somebody who bowls quicker through the air against someone who's a lot slower through the air. So that kind of puts his performances into perspective over the last few seasons, how steep the fall has been.
So that's the thing. His speed is now coming from the shoulder, which is far harder for a spinner to control consistency, instead of actually using the back leg, the hips, your whole body to create that speed. So which is a more consistent result as a spinner.
I'll tell you what Rahul Chahar will be hoping for his new ball bowlers to remove that KKR opening partnership, because Phil Salt and Sunil Narayan have been lighting it up. If it weren't for Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head, we'd be talking about them all around. And in particular for a team who used 8 opening partnerships last season, it's quite a transformation for KKR. Matt Roller has been dissecting what's working for Salt and Narayan for us.
KKR's opening partnership has been one of the most destructive opening combinations in the IPL this season, with Phil Salt and Sunil Narayan both averaging about 40 and striking at about 170. But they're very different players despite those similar records. Narayan has obviously improved a lot against the short ball as a T20 batter since going up the order however many years ago now, but he's still not always comfortable against out-and-out pace. But he absolutely hammers spin, whereas Salt is probably stronger against pace and scores at a significantly slower rate against spin. Clearly that means it's a well-thought-out opening pair, and the effect is quite similar to what happened when Narayan used to open with Chris Lynn for KKR in his early days as an opening batter. What we see this season is if you bowl a seamer to Narayan, he generally looks to give the strike over to Salt, who will then take him down. And if you try and target Salt with a spinner, his aim is to try and get Narayan on strike as soon as possible. with that in mind, what I want to ask the guys on the sofa is how you make a plan for those two as a bowling captain. You sort of have to ensure everyone is 10 yards in from the edge of the ring when they're on strike against their weaker matchup. And particularly, do you back what you perceive to be your strength as a bowling team, whether that's someone swinging the new ball or maybe a spinner who's particularly adept in the power play, or do you target their weakness? And specifically with regards to tonight's game, how do they think that Punjab should go about it against KKR in a game that they realistically have to win?
Before we take that question to you guys, might I commend Matt Roller for the evolution of his backgrounds. All of a sudden, we see those books he's written, and not just a writer, but an author himself. So good job, Matt Roller. But now, Mitch, to answer that question, how do you set up your bowling plans for a pair which is complementing each other as well?
I think as a bowling unit, whether you're a seam bowler or you're a spin bowler, you've got to know where your danger zone is to each batsman. So we've seen to Sunil Narayan, anything, length or on the stumps has been go zone with the seamers. And we saw in the last game, RCB played against KKR, that they decided to actually just try and bowl Yorkers and try go into leg stump against Sunil Narayan with the odd bouncer. So you've got to know that if you are bowling seam to him, what your most aggressive defensive option is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the Yorker's still going to get him out, but the chance of you getting hit to the boundary when you're bowling that Yorker is going to be less. So, and then you've got to have the right field. So you can't be scared of Sunil Narayan against seam, as long as you're going with a plan and you've got a clear plan, and then everyone can see that you're bowling to that plan. As a skipper or as a bowling coach or as a coach, it's okay if you get hit for runs bowling to a specific plan to Sunny. And it's the same with Phil Salt. If you decide that, well, pace off to Phil Salt's our best option because he's looking to hit square of the wicket against seam, and we have those two sweepers out and we try and get him to hit one straight up. As long as everyone's buying into that and you don't stray from that, you can sit at the end of the game and you can reflect and go, okay, they hit us, but they hit us doing what we were trying to do. So you can't just, if it makes sense, you can't just shy away from one type of bowler. You've just got to come with a plan that the group kind of collectively agrees is the right strategy, and then have a plan B and a plan C, because that plan A is not going to work all the time.
That bit Matt touched upon around keeping the fielders closer in, that's an important factor as well. If Salt is facing spin, don't allow him that easy single, bring up the fielders. You'd consider that?
I mean, you can't have all the fielders up in the circle, but yeah, definitely the point, the extra cover where you can get a single, even the square leg for that matter, because obviously playing spin is not his strength, so you can do that. But again, I feel what works for these two guys is the left hand, right hand combination. You have to alter the length very quickly, and they both hit to different directions. So you have to be switched on as a bowler, and you have to stuck with the plan with Mitch said. And RCB, what they did is they had a long off where he invariably hits a lot of runs, and he got caught out in that place. So I mean, you need to be switched on as a bowler and just stuck with your plan, no matter what happens.
But also, guys like Phil Salt, for example, if he's looking for his single to get Sunny onto strike, it's generally going to be, he likes to look to the offside, he looks to cut. So you just got to make sure that you know your line that you want to bowl. Yeah. So you can actually get a couple of dot balls by bowling on leg stump or down leg side, because he's going to look to cut to get Sunny onto strike. So small little things like that knowing the line that he's going to try to get his single on, will give you an advantage. Because all you're trying to do when you're under pressure as a bowler, you're trying to make a 6 ball over, a 5 ball over, and then make it a 4 ball over. So trying to make it that the first couple of balls go for one or a dot, so then there's less balls in the over that can go for a boundary. And if you can get to 4 and 5 or 6 without a boundary, you're like, okay, this could be a good over, and then it's about trying to make sure you finish it off well.
All right. That's the dissection done. Let's see how Punjab line up then to tackle the Salt and Narayan threat. Now, Shashank, you've been here a few days. You already know about the impact zone, which gets everyone interested. But we also play some other games and quizzes. And tonight, we are unleashing one of them on you. Our producers have got up some photos, and all of you have to identify the player who comes up on screen. The first one will be for you, Wasim, and shall be up on your screen soon. Who is this New Zealand left-handed batter?
Well, he looks a little bit slim, isn't it? And he can bat with his bat in hand. That's Mitch McClenaghan.
It was.
Before we proceed further, what shot were you attempting there?
Probably the only shot I could play. Scoop. Yeah, it was against Jade Dernbach at Eden Park. And then after I scooped him, he bowled me a flat one. And there was a bit of a scuffle after that. Yeah.
So that shot, you must have taken it to Surya in the years after that.
Oh, taught him everything I know.
All right, Shashank, the next one is coming up for you. Who is that?
Shikhar Dhawan.
Well done. That's a photo from back in the day, from
Jeez.
his
2004 Under-19 World Cup in Bangladesh.
He was one of the
Very
top run
easy.
scorers.
Yeah, very easy.
We're easing Shashank into
Yeah,
this
he's a
game.
domestic giant.
All right. Mitch, your turn now. Let's see what they have for you.
Full shot with eyes closed.
Hey, is that you? How good?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Wasim, do you want to explain that shot?
Yeah, this is how you connect the ball. So if you can do that
Good
with eyes
extension.
closed, yeah, you can hit with eyes open as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good extension. Love that. Playing with the bent arms, full extension.
yeah.
That's what you teach the young kids, isn't it?
Have a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what is up next for Wasim. Everyone's landed their first one. Wasim, spot that one.
Mr. Gambhir.
That is Gautam Gambhir. Good spot. We go to Shashank next. And
Brendan McCullum.
yeah, I'll have a word with the producers. This has turned out to be far easier than we'd imagined.
Jeez, that's a young fella.
All right, Mitch, the last one's coming up for you. Oh,
Oh, who's that?
was not intended.
Jeez,
but
that looks like it's like one of those 70s Magnum PI type without the moustache. He's a stud, isn't he? Tom Moody.
yes, Tom Moody from back in the day when he was winning ODI World Cups. I'm sure this is even before the 1987
Yeah.
World Cup, probably. But well done, all of you. 2 points given to everyone. We're being generous at the start of the weekend.
Perfect. Yeah.
Now
nice.
let's see for the real fun and games. Let's head into the impact zone. Right, there's the drill. Each expert will pick 3 players for each game, a batter, a bowler, and a wild card. Impact points for each player are counted as per ESPN Cricket Info Smart Stats, and the expert with the highest points tally for each match gets 3 points in their season tally. In your absence, Mitch and Wasim, we had one of the lowest scoring games that we've had this season, where the winning total was not even 3 figures.
wow.
But what you wouldn't like knowing is that the winning total belonged to Tom Moody, who extends his
Of course
lead
it did.
at the
Of course
top.
it did.
So how do we decide who goes first this time? None of you were there yesterday. Did any of you win your last outing?
I did.
Wasim did.
Yeah.
So, Mitch, I give you the batter.
Okay, I'll go Sun on the Rhine.
All right, Narayan as the batter for Mitch. He is a batter now. Wasim.
I'm going to go Russell.
Russell for Wasim. Shashank.
I'll go Riley Russell.
Riley Russo. Okay, we go into bowlers now. Wasim, you can pick first.
I'm going to go Sam.
Sam Curran for
Curran.
Wasim. Shashank.
Harshit Rana.
Harshit Rana.
Yeah, nice.
Mitch.
I will go Rabada.
Rabada. All right, and into wildcards, starting with you, Shashank.
Ankrish Raghuvanshi.
Ooh. I like that you keep backing the uncapped players. Okay, Raghuvanshi, it is for Shashank. Mitch.
I'll go Phil Salt.
Phil Salt. Wow, Narayan and Salt.
And Rabada.
This could be explosive. Wasim.
I'm going to go Harshal Patel.
Harshal Patel. Wow. Last time you were telling me I should join in.
Yeah,
on the fun.
please join in. We'd love you to.
Yeah. So, just to ensure no one out of you finish outside the top 3, let me give this a crack for the first time. Who's remaining? Let's see. I'll pick the new left-arm seamer. I'll get Shamira.
He's right arm.
Right.
Sorry. One
That's
second. I got that wrong. I'll
You'll
go with
take Shamira.
Arshdeep Singh.
Arshdeep,
Arshdeep
okay,
Singh
okay.
is who I'll pick.
Okay, yeah, nice.
And
nice.
I will go with Let's take a punt on Jitesh Sharma in possibly his last outing before the World Cup squad is announced. And Shreyas Iyer.
Oh, Shreyas over Rinku. Okay.
Yeah, they don't get Rinku to bat. I do want to get some points too. Okay, let's get into scores and predictions. The game is underway, so very quickly, Mitch, score and outrageous prediction.
221. And Salt is going to get 70 plus.
We take that. Wasim?
208. And Russell to get a 50 plus.
Russell 50 plus, all right. That's late enough, so we will take that. Shashank?
215, and a spinner will take out Andre Russell.
Okay. Spin to get Russ. All right, we are done then with all the predictions. All the best to all of you, and to me with my weird picks that I've made. That does it from us. Download the ESPN Cricinfo mobile app. The game is underway. Follow the game on that if you don't have the app already. And KKR are already away. Sunil Narayan's got into the boundaries in the first over. So let's see how this one pans out. Everyone's predicting a 200-plus score, and that is what has happened at Eden Gardens. We'll pick up the conversation at halftime. Be sure to join us then on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout, powered by JBL.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.